So please find yourself a seat to settle down and be comfortable.
We would like to ask for your kind cooperation to get ready as we will begin in few minutes. We would like to inform everyone to be ready to rise upon the arrival of VIP into the hall and followed by the singing of our national anthem, Negaraku. Sorry for the interruption. Followed by the singing of our national anthem, Negaraku, and Wawasan Setia Warga UiTM. So to all participants in the hall, you may scan the QR code at the back of your name tag to get access to the program book in the ICAM websites. A few housekeeping notes to the virtual guests, delegates, and participants. Number 1, please mute your microphone. Again, please mute your microphone throughout the session, and please ensure to always turn on your camera to make the conference lively. Number 2, we will advise you to dress appropriately as we will have a quick photo session later. Kindly switch your virtual background to the template that has been provided by the conference secretariat. Should you have to ask questions to the speakers, kindly wait for the Q&A session to be open at the end of each keynote session. You may also leave your question or any query in the chat box. Your cooperation is highly appreciated.
announcing the arrival of our distinguished VIP guests and speakers into the hall.
Testing, testing.
The arrival of our distinguished VIP guests and speakers into the hall. All participants may rise. Ladies and gentlemen, we shall now play our national anthem Negaraku and Wawasan Setia Warga UiTM. Please remain standing.
Bersatu kita warga UiTM, kita bangsa perkasa, taat dan setiaku untuk negara, penuh semangat wajar. Kita jangan mudah terlupa pengorbanan perjuangan anak bangsa. Kita jangan mudah terleka kemajuan keamanan yang ada. Kita berterima kasih pada pemimpin-pemimpin negara. Kita rasa penuh bersyukur kerahmat dan kemuliaan darinya. Kamilah pendukung pewaris bangsa, kamilah penerangan bangsa Malaysia, kamilah warga berwawasan untuk negaraku.
Thank you, and please be seated. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. And a very good morning to all guests and participants present here in the hall and through our virtual live session. Respected Tan Sri, Datuk Sri, Datuk-Datuk, Datin-Datin, professors, doctors, academicians, ladies and gentlemen, I am Ifa.
And I am Shamir.
We will be your MCs for today, and we are very excited to be alongside with you in this conference.
Before we begin, I would like to call upon Dr. Nazmul from the Faculty of Accountancy UITM for the Dua recitation to bless our conference today. Please welcome.
الفاتحة. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين إنا أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين حمدا يوافي نعمه ويكافئ مزيده. يا ربنا لك الحمد كما ينبغي لجلال وجهك وعظيم سلطانك. اللهم اجعل جمعنا هذا جمعا مرحوما وتفرقنا من بعده تفرقا معصوما. ولا تجعل اللهم فينا ولا معنا ولا من يتبعنا شقيا ولا مطرودا ولا محروما. اللهم تقبل هذه المؤتمرات خالصة لوجهك الكريم واجعلها في ميزان حسنات يوم نلقى يوم لا تملك نفس لنفس شيئا والأمر يومئذ لله. Ya Latif, Ya Rahman, please bless us with your tawfiq and hidayah. Please guide 5th International Conference on Accounting and Management 2024, all co-organizers and collaborators to greatness, peace, glory and prosperity in this world and the hereafter. Make us a responsible intellectual. Grant us valuable knowledge that will be beneficial to mankind in order to gain your mardatillah. Make us your righteous servant that follows your command and neglect sinful acts. Please forgive us our wrongdoing. Ya Munzil al-Barakat, bestow peace to Malaysia. Preserve us from any threat and disaster, neither man-made no natural disaster. And to you, Ya Allah, we ask for security and prosperity upon us, our leaders and our country. Bestow patience in us in order to face the challenges from you. Please accept our deeds and please reward us accordingly. اللهم اغفر لنا ذنوبنا ولإخواننا الذين سبقونا بالإيمان ولا تجعل في قلوبنا غلا للذين آمنوا ربنا إنك رؤوف رحيم. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. وصلى الله على محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم والحمد لله رب العالمين. آمين.
Ameen, Ameen, Ya Rabbal Alameen. Thank you, Dr. Nazmul. May our recitation and dua brings blessing and peace from Allah for our conference.
Honorable guests, delegates, and participants, on behalf of the organizing committee, we would like to welcome all of you to the 5th International Conference in Accounting and Management, ICAM 2024. This is conference with a special theme, Harmonizing Sustainability, Assurance for Accountability and Transparency.
It is our greatest honor and privilege to welcome Yang Berusaha, Professor Dr. Haslinda Yusof, the Dean of the Faculty of Accountancy, University Technology Mara, Yang Berbahagia Tan Sri Datuk Wira, Dr. Haji Muhammad Syukur bin Haji Mahfar, former CEO of Inland Revenue Board. Yang berbahagia, Datuk Seri Dr. Akbar Sattar, President of Malaysian Integrity and Governance Society. Yang berusaha, Associate Professor Dr. Kanitson Tepakpong, Director of Master of Accounting Program, Ransit University, Thailand. Faculty Tops Management, faculty members, professors, academicians, distinguished collaborators, delegates from various universities, our sponsors, and all conference participants. We are really honored to have all of you in this conference.
Respected guests, ladies and gentlemen, the pandemic COVID-19 has led us of having a virtual live conference for the past 2 years. But Alhamdulillah, for this year, we are gathered here in this wonderful venue for a special hybrid event, conducting live and virtual concurrently. And it is our greatest honor to have you are able to join us today. For your information, we are also currently streaming live via WebEx and YouTube UITM channel.
This hybrid conference is jointly organized and hosted by a number of esteemed institutions, namely the Faculty of Accountancy, UITM Selangor Branch, Universitas Brawijaya, Indonesia, University Islam Sultan Sharif Ali, Brunei, and Rangsit University, Thailand, together in collaboration with Universitas Muhammadiyah, Purwokerto, Indonesia, KJ Somaya College of Arts, Commerce and Science, India, Savritibai, Pule, Pune, University, India, University of Portsmouth, United Kingdom, and the Shahid Zulfikar Ali Bhutto Institute of Science and Technology, Pakistan. For this year's conference, ICAM 2024 will feature prominent national and international speakers from the industry and academia who will share their expertise and knowledge on issues pertinent to the conference theme, that leveraging governance for sustainability. We hope that this 2 days conference will surely give insight on ensuring improvement in the area and issues identified. We hope that everyone is in a happy disposition and that you will find the presentations and the discussion we have lined up for you to be very fruitful, interesting, and engaging.
Ladies and gentlemen, to kick off this morning's conference, let's turn our attention to the screen and watch the video message from our respected Yang Berbahagia Profesor Dr. Shahrin bin Sahib Elias Sahibuddin, Vice Chancellor, University Technology Mara, Malaysia, to present his welcoming remarks and officiating the conference.
Esteemed guests, Dr. Yeni Widya Prihatin Imtiaz, Universitas Brawijaya, Indonesia, Dr. Muhammad Zakir bin Habib Zaini, University Islam Sultan Sharif Ali, Brunei, Associate Professor Dr. Kanitson Tepakpong, Rangsit University, Thailand, Associate Prof. Dr. Nasiati Tubastui, Universitas Muhammadiyah, Purwokerto, Indonesia, Dr. Ravindra Jadhav, Pune University, India, Professor Humakni Chaudhry, University of Portsmouth, United Kingdom, Tan Sri Datuk Wira Dr. Muhammad Syukur, Haji Mahfar, former CEO of Inland Revenue Board, IRB, Datuk Sri Dr. Akbar Sattar, President of Malaysian Integrity and Governance Society, MIG, UITM colleagues, Yang berusaha Professor Dr. Haslinda Yusof, Dean of the Faculty of Accountancy, UITM, faculty members, esteemed participants, ladies and gentlemen. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Salam sejahtera. Greetings to all. Alhamdulillah, praise to Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala, as it is with His blessing that we are able to meet virtually for this auspicious event. I warmly and sincerely welcome all distinguished guests and participants at the 5th International Conference on Accounting and Management 2024, ICAM 2024. A heartfelt thank you to everyone joining us today. Your presence means a lot to us, and we deeply appreciate your support. It is an honor to address such a distinguished gathering that includes academicians, experts, practitioners, and industry leaders in finance, business, accounting, and management. Allow me to congratulate to the Faculty of Accountancy, UITM, especially the two talent cluster, the Audit, Forensic, and Criminology talent cluster, and the Public and Corporate Accounting Reporting talent cluster for their effort and dedication in organizing such a prestigious event. Congratulations also to our co-organizers, Universitas Brawijaya, University Islam Sultan Sharif Ali, and Rangsit University, and our collaborators from Pune University, the University of Portsmouth, and Universitas Muhammadiyah, Purwokerto. Ladies and gentlemen, ICAM 2024 is held in a hybrid setting with a theme harmonizing sustainability, assurance for accountability and transparency. The conference is the cornerstone of the Faculty of Accountancy Internationalization and Visibility Initiative. It provides a platform for two-way information exchange between academics and industry stakeholders for the public and private sectors. The focus is on accountability and transparency issues. Given that two aspects have evolved into global challenges in the interconnected world that we are living in today. These issues include the accuracy and completeness of corporate, environmental, and societal impact reporting, data privacy and security, and supply chain management. With the new challenges brought on by the digital transformation, the need for assurance of accountability and transparency has become more critical than ever. Addressing these challenges require a combination of robust standards, regulatory framework, technological in organizational culture. Ladies and gentlemen, sustainable and inclusive development has always been a key principle in the nation's development planning. Additionally, advancing sustainability is one of the three themes in the 12th Malaysia Plan from 2021 to 2025. One trusts is sustainability for Malaysia to empowered government, which entails accountability and transparency as components of sustainable decision-making. Governance can be leveraged by utilizing the governance structure and mechanism to maximize the impact and effectiveness of an organization's resources, capabilities, and decision-making process. This will enhance operational efficiency, mitigate risks, build trust with stakeholders, and ultimately achieve sustainable and responsible strategic objectives. UiTM Faculty of Accountancy is committed to contributing to the Sustainable Development Goal or SDGs by working with its stakeholders and relevant parties while upholding the Malaysia Madani commitment to sustainability and prosperity. Ladies and gentlemen, in promoting quality education, the faculty has also demonstrated its commitment to publishing UiTM's 2025 strategic plan, which aims to empower UiTM to become a globally renowned university in science, technology, humanity, and entrepreneurship by 2025. Such testaments are ingrained in several awards and recognition gathered by the faculty at the national and international level, including gaining the top 300 position for accounting and finance in the 2024 QS World Rankings by subject, producing ACCA World Prize winners, and achieving around 90% employability rate for the faculty graduates. Moreover, the faculty has also created wonderful collaboration with professional accountancy bodies, accounting and audit firms, industry players, and well-known universities at the national and international levels. Among these successful endeavors are becoming the teaching provider and exam center for the ACCA and carrying out a knowledge transfer program on applying the I-ASNAC Act in 11 states of Malaysia in collaboration with Maybank Islamic Berhad. Ladies and gentlemen, with that said, I urge all stakeholders and relevant parties to work together towards supporting the SDGs and upholding Malaysia Madani commitment to sustainability and prosperity. Once again, I extend sincere appreciation to everyone involved in bringing this event to fruition. Without further ado, with the holy name of Allah, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim, I declare the 5th International Conference on Accounting and Management 2024 open. Thank you very much. Wabillahi taufiq. Wassalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you, Professor Dato, for the welcoming remarks and officiating the conference. Ladies and gentlemen, moving to the next agenda, let us give a warm welcome to Yang Berusaha, Professor Dr. Hasrinda Yusof, the Dean, Faculty of Accountancy, UITM, to give her opening remarks. Please welcome.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Thank you, Ms. Ifa, and excuse me, Mr. Shamir. Yang Berusaha, Dr. Yeni Widya Prihatiningtas, Head of Department of Accounting, Faculty of Economic and Business, Universitas Brawijaya, Indonesia. Yang Berusaha, Dr. Muhammad Zaki Haji Zaini, Dean of Faculty of Islamic Economic and Finance, University Islam Sultan Sharif Ali, Brunei. Yang Berusaha as well, Associate Professor Dr. Kanitson Ted Paupong, Director of Master of Accounting Program, Rangsit University, Thailand. Yang berbahagia Tan Sri Datuk Wira Dr. Haji Muhammad Yusof Haji Mahfar, former CEO of the Inland Revenue Board and also the Chair of the Board of Directors of UUM. And colleagues yang berbahagia, Associate Professor Datin Dr. Nur Azida Muhammad, Assistant Vice Chancellor Internalization UITM Global. Yang Berusaha, Associate Professor Dr. Razana Juhaida Johari, our Deputy Dean of Research and Industry Linkages, as well as Yang Berusaha, Associate Professor Dr. Aida Hazlin Ismail, Deputy Dean of Student Affairs, faculties, top management, faculty members, esteemed participants, ladies and gentlemen. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and a very good morning to all. On behalf of the faculty, I would like to take the opportunity to wish everyone here in this particular hall, beautiful hall, as well as online, a warm welcome to the 5th International Conference on Accounting and Management 2024, also known as ICAM 2024. It is of my great pleasure to welcome our eminent keynote speakers, especially Yang Berbahagia Tan Sri Datuk Wira Dr. Muhammad Syukur Haji Mahfar, Yang Berbahagia Datuk Sri Dr. Akbar Sata, and Associate Professor Dr. Kanitson. Thank you very much, Yang Berbahagia Datuk and all for joining us despite your very tight schedule and your willingness to share your experience and knowledge and your vast experience with us in this 2 days conference. I would also like to take the opportunity to welcome everyone, local and international delegates from all over the world. For everyone's information, it is very honored and a privilege for the faculty to host such event. In this particular ICAM 2024, we have approximately about 80 research papers to be presented, physical as well as online, and coming from delegates from 10 countries, if I may, to indicate, from Brunei, China, India, Pakistan, Nigeria, UK, United Kingdom, Thailand, Indonesia, and from our very own country, Malaysia, and making this conference a truly international one. Alhamdulillah. Ladies and gentlemen, ICAM 2024, a hybrid conference, is actually a jointly organized conference which is lead by the talent clusters. In our faculty, there's a number of talent clusters, and this is led by audit, forensic and criminology, as well as public and corporate accounting reporting cluster, we call it, under the auspices of the Faculty of Accountancy, UITM Selangor branch, together with our strategic partners as our co-hosts, which are Universitas Brawijaya Indonesia, University Islam Sultan Sharif Ali Brunei, and Rangsit University Thailand. And also our collaborators are Universitas Muhammadiyah Purwokerto Indonesia, KJ Somaya College of Arts, Commerce and Science from India, Savitri Bai Phule Pune University, India, University of Portsmouth, United Kingdom, and Shahid Zulfikar Ali Bhutto Institute of Science and Technology, University from Pakistan. Dearest strategic partners and collaborators, your support and contribution are really appreciated in making this conference happen and signify a successful contribution. So ladies and gentlemen, the theme of this year's conference is Harmonizing Sustainability, Assurance for Accountability and Transparency. And it is definitely a cornerstone of the faculty's internalization and visibility initiatives. So this is part of our annual event actually. For everyone's information, this faculty, we lead 2 main conferences which we alternate every year. Now, we know that sustainability development and organization has been crucial area of concern globally and locally, and that the potentials of sustainability practices are very promising and impactful towards social and economic growth of industry as well as the country. In fact, I think today the latest news is there's an announcement yesterday with regards to the establishment of the National Sustainability Reporting Framework, NSRF, by the Security Commission Malaysia, of which all companies are expected to comply starting from 2025. That actually signifies the country's initiatives in line with the global cause towards sustainability practices, especially among the large industries of the country. We anticipate that this conference will provide a forum of participants to debate cutting-edge subjects pertaining to management and accounting. As you know, there's a number of sub-areas and in the parallel sessions for you to present your research findings and to share with everyone together among researchers, academics, practitioners, doctoral students within the broad field of sustainability, governance and accountability. Now I hope that these 2 conferences will provide a perfect platform for us which will inspire new ideas, knowledge and in stimulating research in these areas. To support the publication of research papers, for ICAM 2024 participants, we have also successfully held a 2-day pre-ICAM conference, workshop on the 9th and 10th July 2024 to facilitate the preparation of the high-quality research papers for potential publication in high-impact journals. That's part of our practices. Prior to our conference, we will run workshops for a pool of identified potential papers to opportunity to polish your papers, and so that it will expedite the opportunity for you to publish in the respective esteemed journals. So ladies and gentlemen, before I end my speech, I would like to take the opportunity to thank the organizing committee chaired by Associate Professor Dr. Sharifah Nazatul Faiza, and the committee members from the faculty, and that thank you very much everyone. Your commitment and untiring effort for this conference has made this a successful event, inshallah. And I also would like to take the opportunity to extend my heartfelt thank you to our sponsors, especially the Institute of Chartered Accountants England and Wales, ICAW, the Malaysian Institute of Chartered Certified Public Accountants, MICPA, as well as the Association of Chartered Certified Accountants, ACCA Malaysia. Thank you very much for your generosity in ensuring the success of the conference and also supporting us through our continuous strategic partnership over the years. Last but not least, I hope everyone, all participants will have great time and that the discussion will be interesting. And I would also encourage participants, doctoral students, postgraduate students, take this opportunity not just to present your findings, but also this is a beginning of a future strategic collaboration, networking, and I hope everyone will enjoy and have a fruitful 2 days conference, inshallah. So thank you and all the best. Wabillahi taufiq wal hidayah. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you very much, Professor Dr. Haslinda Yusof, for that wonderful opening remarks. Ladies and gentlemen, before we proceed further, allow us to share a wonderful video montage of ICAM 2024 and UITM corporate video for your viewing. Please enjoy.
Thank you for your attention. With that captivating video start, let us now move forward with the rest of the agenda for our conference today. Esteemed guests, delegates, and participants, moving right along to the next agenda, just a little housekeeping before we get started for the next keynote session. To everyone in this hall, you may raise your hand to ask questions only during the question and answer session. And to all virtual participants, if you have any questions, please type them in the chat box in your control panel. We will bring them up to the speakers during the question and answers session. Ladies and gentlemen, now it is our greatest honor to welcome our first keynote speaker for today. But allow us to introduce our first speaker, none other Yang Berbahagia Tan Sri Datuk Wira Dr. Muhammad Syukur bin Haji Mahfar, former CEO of Inland Revenue Board. Yang Berbahagia Tan Sri began his career in 1978, the day I was born, and later joined the Inland Revenue Board, IRB, where he quickly rose through the ranks to become the Director General. During his tenure, he held significant positions such as Deputy CEO of Compliance and Deputy CEO of Operations, and later became the CEO in 2011. Dr. Shuko has received numerous accolades, including the CEO of the Year 2015 by the European Emerging Markets Awards and the 2015 Lifetime Achievement Award from the Asia HRD Award. He holds several academic degrees, including a Master of Taxation and a doctorate in public administration from the Golden Gate University, United States of America.
We have some more. In addition to his academic contributions as an adjunct professor at various universities, he is currently the chairman of the board of directors of University Utara Malaysia. With over 36 years of experience in taxation and management, he now leads his own firm, MSM Management Advisory. Let's give a warm welcome to Tan Sri Datuk Wira Dr. Haji Muhammad Syukur bin Haji Mahfar to deliver his talk on governance and leadership synergy, empowering accountability and transparency for sustainable outcomes.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Salam sejahtera. Thank you very much for the Master of Ceremonies, the top management of Faculty of Accountancy, Universiti Teknologi Mara, Yang Berusaha Profesor Dr. Haslinda Yusof, Yang Berusaha Profesor Datin Dr. Nur Azidah Muhammad, Yang Berusaha Profesor Dr. Razana Johaida Johari, Yang Berusaha Associate Professor Dr. Aida Hazlin bin Ismail, esteemed guests and speakers, Yang berbahagia Profesor Dr. Kanit Son Papong from Rangsit University of Thailand, and yang berbahagia Datuk Sri Dr. Akbar Sata, Presiden Malaysia Integrity and Governance Society, as well as the 5th International Conference of Accounting and Management 2024, distinguished co-organizers, collaborators, delegates from various universities, sponsors, and conference participants. Thank you for inviting me as the keynote speaker for the opening ceremony today. I think now you see me in person. I was a taxman before. All right. It is an honor to be here today at the 5th ICAM and addressing a theme that is both timely and crucial: harmonizing sustainability, assurance for accountability, and transparency. As we gather to explore this important subject, I'm reminded of the unique and vital role that accountants play, not just in the financial health of organization, but in shaping the ethical and transparent practices that underpin sustainable development. Accountants today are no longer just the keepers of books and numbers. They are stewards of trust, guardians of integrity, and crucial agents of change. The evolving complexities of our global economy require us to transcend traditional boundaries, integrating sustainability into our core functions. This is not merely an added responsibility, but an essential aspect of our professional identity. In Malaysia, as well as on the international stage, we have seen how accountants have become pivotal in driving accountability and transparency within both the public and private sectors. Their decisions and action have far-reaching consequences, not only for the financial performance of our organizations, but also for their social and environmental impact. This places us at the forefront of the movement towards a more sustainable future. However, with this expanded role comes the need for exceptional leadership, or in bahasa, kepimpinan bertanggungjawab menjunjung tata kelola. Effective leadership is crucial in the accounting profession. Accountants in leadership position must possess a deep understanding of both financial and non-financial reporting, ensuring that sustainability practices are not just adopted, but are fully integrated into the fabric of the organization. This requires a commitment to continuous learning, adaptability, and the courage to challenge the status quo when necessary. Upholding governance in our leadership means ensuring that every decision we make is aligned with the principles of integrity, accountability, and transparency. Accountants have a unique advantage because of their deep expertise in managing organization finances, an area that is crucial to any business's success. When accountants also develop strong leadership skills, they become exceptional, effective leaders. To excel as a leader, accountants must know how to lead teams, manage finances, and uphold the highest ethical standards. Key leadership values include setting a strong example in ethical conduct, promoting transparency, and guiding organizations through the challenges of achieving sustainability, all while maintaining a robust governance. In the context of academia, accountants who hold administrative positions at universities face unique challenges. They must balance their responsibility as educators with their roles as administrators, ensuring that the values of accountability and transparency are instilled in the next generation of professions. This dual role requires a nuanced understanding of leadership that goes beyond traditional management, incorporating mentorship, ethical guidance, and a commitment to the broader societal impact of their work, all within a framework of robust governance. In today's rapidly evolving digital landscape, technology plays a critical role in shaping the future of accounting. As leaders, we must embrace the potential of technology to enhance our ability to maintain transparency and accountability. Artificial intelligence, or in short AI, blockchain, and data analytics are revolutionizing how we approach financial reporting, audit practices, and risk management. By integrating these technologies, we can improve the accuracy and efficiency of our work, allowing us to focus on the more strategic aspects of our roles. However, the adaptation of technology also requires a renewed emphasis on ethical consideration. As leaders, it is our responsibility to ensure that the use of these technologies align with our core values of honesty and integrity, and that we guide our organization in navigating the ethical implications of digital transformation, while steadfastly upholding the principles of good governance. Ethics and sustainability are interlinked, particularly in the accounting profession. As stewards of financial integrity, we must ensure that our actions and decisions reflect a deep commitment to ethical principles. This includes not only adhering to regulatory requirements, but also going beyond compliance to consider the broader impact of our work on society and environment. Sustainable accounting practices require us to account for environmental, social, and governance, or in short, ESG factors in our financial reporting and decision-making processes. By embedding ethics into the core of our leadership, we can foster a culture that prioritizes long-term value creation over short-term gains, thereby contributing to a more equitable and sustainable future underpinned by strong governance. The role of accountants extends beyond routine financial management. It also involves guiding organizations through periods of crisis, whether facing economic downturns, regulatory changes, or global pandemics, effective leadership in times of crisis is crucial. Accountants are uniquely positioned to provide stability and clarify during such times, using their analytical skills to assess risks, develop contingency plans, and ensure the continuity of essential financial operation. Moreover, in crisis situation, the principles of transparency, accountability, and governance become even more important. Leaders must communicate openly with stakeholders, providing clear and accurate information to maintain trust and confidence. By demonstrating resilience and adaptability, accountants can lead their organization through challenges while upholding the highest standards of integrity and governance. As we look beyond our national borders, it is clear that sustainable leadership in accounting is a global imperative. The challenges we face, climate change, economic inequality, and social unrest are interconnected and require coordinated international response. Accountants, particularly those in leadership position, have a responsibility to contribute to global sustainability efforts by advocating for consistent international standards, sharing best practices, and collaborating across borders. The Global Reporting Initiative, in short GRI, and the International Integrated Reporting Council, IRC, are examples of international frameworks that guide accountants in aligning financial performance with sustainability objective. By participating in this global initiative, we can assure our profession remains at the forefront of efforts to create a more sustainable and just world, always governed by principles of accountability and transparency. An accountant who also serve as a lecturers and administrators in university, they have a unique responsibility. They are not only shaping the future of our profession, but also influencing the broader societal values of accountability and transparency. Their leadership must inspire their students to understand the critical importance of ethical practice and sustainable decision-making in their future careers. In this capacity, they must also advocate for the integration of sustainability into the accounting curriculum. By doing so, we equip our students with the knowledge and skills necessary to navigate the complexities of modern finance and to lead with integrity in their professional lives. The role as educators and administrators must be rooted in a governance framework that ensures transparency, fairness, and responsibility in all academic and administrative functions. Looking to the future, the role of leadership in accounting will continue to evolve. The next generation of accountants will face new challenges, from navigating the complexities of a globalized economy to addressing the demands of increasingly informed and conscientious stakeholders. As leaders, it is our duty to mentor and prepare them for these challenges, instilling in them the values of accountability, transparency, and sustainability. We must also encourage innovation, fostering an environment where new ideas and approaches are welcomed and explored. The future of accounting professions depends on the ability to adapt, of change, while remaining true to the principles that define them. By leading with a vision and purpose, and by upholding governance in all our actions, we can assure that accounting continues to be a force for positive change in the world. Allow me to share some examples to illustrate these points. In the public administration sector, particularly within the Inland Revenue Board of Malaysia, IRBM, the role of accountant has been instrumental in fostering a culture of transparency, governance, and accountability. The implementation of effective tax policy, coupled with robust financial oversight, has not only enhanced revenue collection, but also strengthened public trust in government illustration. Internationally, we can look to the examples of New Zealand, where the government has integrated sustainability reporting into its public sector financial management. Accountants in leadership positions have been key to this transformation, ensuring that sustainability is a central component of the nation's financial reporting framework. This has set a global benchmark for how accountants can lead the way in harmonizing financial performance with long-term sustainability goals, all while maintaining the highest standards of governance. Ladies and gentlemen, before I end my session, please allow me to share a practical example or experience when we talk about the relationship between governance and leadership. It's about not more than 10 minutes. Okay. Here, of course, I put it in our bahasa. When we, in the reality, when you are in the office, you always listen that, take my instruction from your boss. The challenge now, whether you want to accept blindly the instruction from your boss, or your boss must know whether before they give instruction, do they really understand any rules or procedure. So this is the challenge in the real world, either to take instruction blindly from your boss, from your superior, or you must tell your boss that, sir, I have to give my sincere advice to you without fear or favor. Please adhere to the rules. This is the challenge, okay, for the accountant in this respect. Next. Next slide, please. All right. Today, we are so concerned about the corporate governance, you know. So in the simple way, corporate governance will comprise of a SOP, standard operating procedures, a term of reference, TOR, a guideline, internal guideline by any organization, or maybe client charter. That's the promise that always given by organization to the customer. We are supposed to give you service within blah and blah. We should answer your phone within 3 rings. Is it still practical? That's the challenge. You know, we are so happily to put the cosmetic, but we never look into the promise in the client charter. That's why you call it a corporate governance. So this corporate governance, you can have a very nice corporate governance, but who's going to man that corporate governance? So this is in respect of a human governance. So when you talk about human governance, it's the responsibility to every level in the organization. For example, the process owner, okay? The service providers, if you have a vendor who did, and also the end user, your own end user. So this human governance, you must understand that without a human governance and corporate governance, it's very difficult for the organization to excel to the greater height. Okay, next. Today we talk about a governance issue. I would like just to make it simple, a governance universe. In this first, I'm thinking that first and foremost, in any organization, the most important, are you authorized to do things? What is the authority that gives you the power to implement or to give instruction or whatever it is? What is the authority? In this regard, for the public university in Malaysia, you are bound by the secular by the central government, internal secular by the perlembagaan university. You know, so you have your own authority. Are you authorized? But when you talk about the governance issue, we talked just now about we mentioned about accountability. We are so familiar with the accountability, so familiar with the integrity. And after this, Dato' Sri Akbar will discuss about the integrity. Transparency is just about, what you call it, you know, it's rhetoric or what. So this is the most important, that either accountability, integrity, and transparency in any organization. The most important is the leadership. Leadership in any organization will ensure that all the three factors will be on the right track. Okay, so we talk about ESG today. Okay, and now we have to do the engagement with all the members of the organization, the end user, you know, your service provider. Okay, and of course some of the information, they create a conflict of interest. Conflict of interest. And then in this organization, you must have a monitoring system, you know, whereby that the monitoring follow up, follow through. The internal audit functions is very crucial. Maybe you need to have a domestic inquiry if there is any doubts about the transaction. Okay, and we have a whistleblower, law enforcement, internally disciplinary action, and even up to court action. So we always say that, you know, we have some time when we implement the project, for example, project based, we always proudly mention about the success of our project because of the output, but how about the outcome, the effectiveness of that project. So, ladies and gentlemen, in Malaysia, for today, that I would like to just to share a little bit just about the Laporan Ketua Audit Negara, a report from the Auditor General. Okay, we are very transparent, no? Laporan, Audit Negara. Okay, next slide, please. So, in Malaysia, we can see that this is the recent report by the our Audit Negara. Okay, so they discuss about back to the next slide. No. Okay, they talk about the pemantauan atau penyeliaan. How you monitoring, penyelarasan, pengkalan data maklumat, and policy and procedure. So all these things, you know, if you don't really follow strictly, there's always a gap. There's always a gap. You know. Okay. So next slide, please. So this is the report. Okay, it's not a case study, it's a real report from the Auditor General. So I don't want to explain here or why I want to discuss, you can read it. Okay, this is a public domain already. Okay, next. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, in organization, when we talk about leadership, we are facing with crisis management. How we are going to manage your crisis. Whether it's a voluntary compliance for the governance issues, should be a voluntary compliance. And sometimes, ladies and gentlemen, when you follow strictly the procedure, you end up with a too rigid. You are too rigid, you know. So now the issue is rigid versus firm. I remember that during my time when I was the CEO, when I called the accountant, we said the accountant is very rigid. 1 + 1 always 2. In the tax rule, 5 - 2, not necessarily 3. 2 + 3 should be, but accountant is a mathematician. 1 + 1 is 2. So I do not know. Okay? Rigid versus firm. This is the challenge. And as a result of you follow strictly, because if you are too rigid, then it creates red tapes. So I leave it to the organization, I leave it to you as a leader, how you are going to manage this crisis. Okay, without, even though you want to make your, to ensure that, to increase the profit, for example, okay, or to try to simplify your work process, but not in the expense of governance issues. So ladies and gentlemen, in conclusion, the role of accountant has never been more critical or more challenging. Sekian, wabillahi taufiq wal hidayah. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Yang Berbahagia Tan Sri Datuk Wira Dr. Haji Muhammad Syukur bin Haji Mahfar for the insightful sharing. And now I will open for the Q&A sessions. Do we have any question from the participants in this hall? Or maybe in the chat box in the WebEx?
Do you have any question from the members of the floor? You can just raise your hand and we'll come to you. Oh, we have from our pembaca doa, Dr. Nazma.
Assalamualaikum. Thank you very much for your insightful discussion from the keynote speech. My question is based on the ethics in sustainability. I just want to know your opinion about the humans. Do you think have an obligation to protect the future generation, and how it will be possible based on the governance in sustainability? Thank you.
Thank you very much. I need to ask you to say it again about your question, or your comment. Okay, please. Yeah.
I mean, what's your opinion about do human have an obligation to protect the future generation?
Oh yeah, that is our commitment. You know, that is our commitment. I think as a Muslim, we have to protect not only our generation and our future generation. So I think this only now matter that whether we say that are you a short-term or long-term vision. So I would say that you must be have a very far-sighted vision, so that whenever that you plan, whatever that you do, not only for tomorrows, but for the tomorrow and for the future. So they always must be inbuilt in our hearts and in our mind, whatever that you want to do. Okay? Thank you very much.
Okay, we have another one there. Can someone pass the mic?
Let me. Waalaikumsalam. The mic is not on.
Assalamu alaikum.
Waalaikumsalam.
I'm Asma Javed from Shaheed Zulfikar Ali Bhutto Institute of Science and Technology, Pakistan.
Yeah.
Sir, my question is, we are working for the future generation and trying to have the maximum sustainability for us and for them as well. But what I see around is we are still very unsuccessful. How would you implement it, or how would you advise to the generation who is living themselves to live effectively and fully, because we all are suffering. Yes, we are trying, despite all these sufferings, for the future generation to come and live good and in a better environment. But we are sufferer too. What we should do for ourselves.
Okay,
Thank you.
Thank you very much. I think, put it this way, we always say that we want to plan, we try to plan long term. Let's say 20 years, for example. If you plan for 1 year, people say that too short. 5 years is too short, you plan for 20 years. Okay, you try to figure out what's going to happen the next 20 years. All right. But when the time, maybe 5 years or 3 years later, the person who are in power may not believe that whatever that we put, because this is not a permanent blueprint. It's not a permanent blueprint, We can try our best to figure out, and we always put our assumption, as I used to use economist assumption, ceteris paribus. All variables constant. But when the times come, they change everything. It's too bad. But as far as we are concerned, we put our good faith. We want to plan for the future, for the betterment, for the next generation. We never thought about the pandemic 10 years ago. We never thought about pandemic 10 years ago, but it happened. So I think never give up. Never give up. Keep it up. Put our good faith. This is what I think our responsibility, our commitment to the Ummah. To the Ummah. I think it's okay. It's okay. So wish you all the best. Assalamualaikum. Yeah.
Do we have any?
Okay, Tan Sri, saya Aida Hazlin.
Yeah.
I have one question on, I'm interested in the crisis management.
Okay.
You were saying if you are too strict, then you will, create the red tapes, kan? So macam mana, like for us in public sector, we have to follow all the perkeliling and things like that. But still, sometimes, I think due to the red tapes, sometimes people tend to manipulate. Sebab red tapes, too many of red tapes, kan? So how do you manage in your previous organisation, Tan Sri?
Yeah, this is very subjective, It's very subjective. Doc, it's very subjective. I always say that, don't be too rigid, but you must be firm. Okay, but if I were to explain, I give you a simple analogy. Traffic light analogy. Traffic light analogy, it applies across the world. Green stand for go. Red, stop. Okay. If you follow strictly, if you drive 2 a.m., traffic light, red, are you going to stop? The answer is you have to stop. You have to stop. Because the red say that you must stop. But if you stop until it turns to green, you may be not safe, So that's the reason sometimes certain country, after midnight, they change the traffic light become stop, look, go, the yellow one. What does it mean? It's not rigid. It's not rigid. So they tell you, okay, during rush hour, for example, in Kuala Lumpur, 5 o'clock is rush hour. The function of red traffic light is not functioning efficiently. So you have to send a traffic policeman to maneuver. Can you tell that the traffic police that, sir, you don't tell me to break the rules because red I must stop. He said, no, you have to go, you have to go. Means to say that, that's why crisis, as a leader, some of your duty, especially when you do higher up, you have a discretionary power. But you have to take responsibility for that. But the desk officer, they don't have discretion power. They have to follow the rules. You know. So that's why rigid versus red tape. And then another one, the way that you interpret the law, the way that you interpret the wording. Because the wording is sometimes is very general. You know, it's very general. So you have to interpret. That's the reason why we want to see which are the authority level. Is it the Act of Parliament? Like say, AUKU is Act of Parliament. You know, the interpretation at the Parliament. Is it Perlembagaan University at the university level? Is it guideline is within the university? So how? This is why I think that it's never ends argument. Can you give me example of red tapes or what rigid versus? That's why during my time when I was the CEO, I tell you that when they say appeals against the assessment, so my officer said, "So sorry, sir, your appeal cannot be." Then they have a taxpayer's right, appeals right under Section 99, appeals right to submit the appeal and go up to the DG. When I was the DG, my officer called me, "Sir, don't entertain. Who are you to entertain? Your level at that point is there. When come to the DG has the power under the law say that the best judgment. So best judgment. So when you are on the hub there, you don't want to make decision. That's the challenge that sometimes you promote the subject matter expert to become a leader. They work in very silo because they are so used to work in silo. When they go up, they don't see a bigger picture. So this is what I'm telling you that, as a leader, okay, especially accountant, you are so mechanical. Your thinking is very mechanical. When you go up there, it's become the head, and so you have to see bigger picture. But that not in the expense of the governance. Okay. Thank you very much.
Okay, Tan Sri.
Yeah.
We got the last question,
Okay.
one live virtual question coming from Dr. Katie Terpaupong.
Okay.
Hi, here you go.
Hi.
Okay.
Good morning.
Hi. Hi, good morning. I'm Kathy from Rangsit University, Thailand.
Yeah.
Very nice to hear your presentation. Very interesting. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Doc.
My question, yep, you can hear me
Yes,
okay,
yes.
right? Yeah, okay. My question is about the human governance. We heard a lot about the corporate governance, the CG. But actually, to admit to you, the first time that I heard about the human governance, my question is that how could we encourage or try to increase the human governance? For the corporate governance, we have many organizations, right?
Yeah,
We
yeah.
have the stock exchange to control or try to encourage the companies to practice the CG. But the human governance, could you please advise on this one? Thank you.
Thank you very much. Corporate governance is just a guideline, Who's going to implement it? Human. You see, human is the soul of the corporate governance. So if the members of the organization does not really feel that it is my responsibility, I'm the soul of my organization. So I will say that, I don't agree with this corporate governance. I don't care about the corporate governance. So that's why the importance of human governance, who really can see the implementation of corporate governance effectively. Okay? Effectively. So I would say that, in short, human governance is the soul of a corporate governance. Okay. Thank you very much. We need another symposium or another forum to discuss about the human governance. Yeah, it's very interesting. Very interesting.
Thank you.
Thank you, Doc. Thank you.
Thank you so much to Tan Sri Datuk Wira. So now it's 10:31 a.m. This is the time that we are waiting for. Respected guests and participants, we will now take a short 30 minutes break and we will resume our session at 11 a.m. with our second keynote speaker. The refreshment is available outside the hall, so please enjoy. See you shortly.
Dah boleh print dah ni. Gambar je kan? Gambar dah ambil dah. Nama tu mana? Yang folder Kiki tu. Betul. Tak, kerja sekolah Kiki ni. Desktop kan. Buat mana desktop? Dia tengok ni. Muka surat tak letak. Masuk kena letak lah. Ekonomi mesti dah kat bawah. Ini kecil je, gambar apa ni? Kat sini. Ha? Yelah, untuk apa? Tahu, gambar apa ni? Kecil je. Besar lah sikit. Ni dah semua ni. Ni pun abang gambar juga. Bulan ni kan atas. Tunggu dekat sini buat lain lah, page baru. Ni ke bawah sikit lah. Okay. Ni dah terkait. Ini nilas lah.
Ladies and gentlemen, to all participants in this hall, as well as in the Webex, online, virtual, kindly get ready as we will begin our next session shortly. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Announcing the arrival of Yang Bahagia Datuk Seri Dr. Akbar Sata, President of Malaysian Integrity and Governance Society. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Are you feeling refreshed now? We hope it is a good break and a good networking session. It is now time for us to introduce our next esteemed speaker. Our next speaker is none other Yang Berbahagia Datuk Seri Dr. Akbar Sata, President of Malaysian Integrity and Governance Society. Dr. Akbar Sata, a highly respected figure in the field of anti-corruption and governance. He brings over 40 years of investigative experience, including 19 years with the Malaysian Anti-Corruption Agency, MACC, where he held various senior management positions. In the private sector, he has over 22 years of experience and is the founder of the Association of Certified Fraud Examiner, ACFE, Malaysia chapter. Dr. Akbar Sata has also been appointed to numerous prestigious committees, including the National Consultative Committee on Political Funding and the Anti-Corruption Advisory Board of MACC. With a master's degree in criminal justice studies from the University of Detroit and a doctorate in business specializing in organizational criminology, Dr. Akbar continues to contribute as a director at the Institute of Crime and Criminology at Help University. Please join me in giving a warm welcome to Yang Berbahagia Datuk Seri Dr. Akbar Sata with his sharing on increasing transparency in higher education, addressing fraud and corruption. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh. Good morning. Before I start my lecture, right? Between integrity and structural, I think the most important will be integrity. Integrity, human integrity is very important, because sometimes you import the best system from Harvard or from Oxford, but if the handler have no integrity, therefore I think it is useless. So in fact, many countries, including Malaysia, are facing integrity crisis. It's a human factor. Why must Singapore only try to, cover the country by using only the barbed wire, right? But in some country, same as Malaysia, right, we have to use the concrete wall, but they still try to, hack and drill to go in. So this is integrity. But speaking about Singapore, of course, Singapore is very successful in enforcing the law, but they still fail to change the mindset of the people. I give you an example. Singaporean, they are okay in their country, they follow law, but when they cross over to Malaysia, to Johor Bahru, they become like us. Correct. So I think for them, because they have to enforce, but it is different when you compare this country to Sweden and also Denmark, whereby the people has been trained and instilled integrity and honesty, elements. So wherever they go, they still follow their culture and regulation. But of course, they can't be so long. After that, they have to follow they have to be in the boat, in the same boat. If not, they will be left alone. So these are the things that I think have to be very important. So integrity, if you talk about integrity, integrity cannot change a corrupt person. Because sometimes a person may have integrity, but sometimes they can change because of power, riches, and also sometimes women for men. Right? This three factors. Yeah, it's true, right? But yeah, some country, there's a study about sextortion, right? In this area. Which country is the worst? Top the list where you have to pay bribe in order to get something done in the civil service, right? So Malaysia fall under number 4, but it's still okay. There are a few other numbers. I think Pakistan and India is above or top worst. You have not mistaken. So today's topic will be increasing transparency in higher education, addressing fraud and corruption, right? So being in higher education, you have to be whiter than white, correct? Meaning to say that whatever you do, you have to follow instruction. And number 2, do not copy. But I found that lately, most of us, I saw that sometimes we came up with some idea and some quotation, but they don't quote us. They simply copy. But that is bad, So you have to quote. Nothing wrong. It's more academic, right? Rather than simply taking people's idea. So first thing we go on the first slide. That means the definition of academic work, right? So this is very important for us not to get involved in fraud, right? Because by involving in this kind of work or fraudulent activity, therefore I think you will not be respected, right? As I mentioned earlier, it is not wrong for you to quote others because it is more better and people will believe more that if when you quoted somebody's idea. Number 2, corruption. What is the difference between corruption and bribery? Bribery is giving and receiving, Receiving and giving. Maybe in service, maybe in all kind, right? Conflict of interest and so on. But what is corruption? Corruption is the misuse of power. But in Malaysia, we combine both bribery and corruption into corruption. Okay, our law is very strict, but except that I think if you compare to we have the Anti-Corruption Act 2009, but the disadvantage of the new law is that the penalty was not severe compared to the Anti-Corruption Act 1997, because they amended the law, but they forget that they reduced the penalty, which is bad because I think this is a trick of some of the politicians, right? Now, so if you base on the old law 1997, if you plead guilty, at least you have to be in jail for 14 days. But for white collar criminal, being there inside the jail for 14 days is not easy, right? But new law, you can negotiate. DPP can negotiate with the lawyer. You can impose for 1 day. And the difference between white collar criminal and other offences, white criminal are people who have money, correct? They can hire the best lawyer, and they are powerful, therefore normally they win the case. So meaning to say that if you have nothing, you better do not commit fraud, correct? Because the highly likely for you to get into the jail is very high, because sometimes you have no money, you hire by you hire the what you call the unknown lawyer. Therefore, I think that will be a big problem. Okay. Then number 2. The impact of academic fraud, right? Number 1 is damage to your reputation. Once you get involved in this kind of thing, therefore I think your reputation will be gone, right? So we have to be careful. Being a student, especially specialized in academic, you have to take care of this. Number 2, erosion of trust. Once people don't trust you, I think it's quite difficult, quite difficult to, to regain the trust. And please do not also compromise, and also make sure that compromise research the quality. Make sure that when you do things, conduct nicely, conduct with honesty. Therefore, I think there should not be any problem. The example academic fraud, plagiarism. Malaysia academic plagiarism scandal. So we have scandal here where people plagiarize, but I think they have been identified, and the future of the so-called example, what we call a candidate, has been gone, right? And number 2 is data fabrication. Some example, there are researchers also who manipulated medical research in Malaysia. This is very bad, right? And this not only give impact to the society, but also the impact to the medical field. And then we have another example on the international cases, right? South Korea, there was one guy, Dr. Huang Woo-suk, stem cell scandal, right? In 2005, he claim of breakthrough in stem cell cloning. Discovery of fabricated data, right? Because of that, number 2, fallout. Restricted paper, destroy career, damage national reputation because of this, right? So we have to be careful, right? When we come up with any research, make sure that it is a genuine, and then not fabricated the data. If not, I think your future will be gone, right? I think it's not nice for us to copy people's things, right? But you have to code, nothing wrong, right? To code. Oh, sorry. This is the one that I mentioned just now. The other one will be the financial management. In 2020-24, misappropriation of research grant also take place. Sometimes people give you grant, therefore make sure that you conduct professionally and also objectively, right? Come up with it. But don't ever conduct research based on what people want. So I think in private sector there are a lot of occasions where the one who hire you to conduct research, they already come up with their own result. I want you to do this, but that's bad, right? Reputation, that's bad. Because in Malaysia, so you can hire any. There are companies who can conduct survey in integrity, corruption. So I hope we do not fall under that category where you can fabricate the data. Preventive measure and policy. So we need some robust policy and procedure, right? Number 2, clear guideline in fraudulent activity, measure for detection and reporting and addressing misconduct. But as I mentioned to you, these 3 factors depend on you, right? Depend on you. You may have the integrity, but the integrity cannot guarantee you can sustain, correct? Today I'm talking about integrity, about prevention of fraud. But do you know that even tomorrow, so I'm not sure whether I can uphold the integrity level, correct? Because of riches, position, woman, correct? Just true, right? Anything can happen, right? Some of them, they were very good, but 3 days before he died, he committed a crime. So therefore, I think it is not easy for us to maintained because of the fraud. So for men, we have three, right? Riches, position, and women. For women, there are 4 factors. Number one is called praise. You like to be praised, handsome, pretty, wow, pretty, good cook, get praise. Number 2, it is called paper. Paper means to say that normally you fall in love with a fraudster who have money, right? But sometimes you are in one roof, therefore, then only you know that he's a fraudster. It's a big problem. So it's good to conduct some simple background checking, okay? Because once you have spent already about $500,000 ringgit, then suddenly I don't think you want to leave him, right? And then the third factor is brick. So normally women, they like to have a man who have big houses. But as I told you, once you are in a big roof, in the same roof, therefore I think then only you know that the problem, right? Last but not least is the iron. Iron is the car, vehicle. You saw that somebody come up with Bentley, with Ferrari, you fall in love. So be careful, right? Conduct some background checking. I think it's quite easy for you, right? Gen Y, Gen Z, Gen all the millennial, Gen whatever Gen. I think just Google you can do it. You can see it. Okay. Case study. I think there was a case study in University of Malaya where they come up with a good anti-fraud policy. So I think to me, whatever anti-fraud policy you do, but most of us, right, most of institutions, they do this because of requirement of the government, requirement of the organization, correct? They just go there, put in the website, but nothing improved. But of course, in University of Malaya, I think this was the first university where they introduced the anti-fraud policy. It is up to you to put, right? Whether if you receive more than 250, whether you have to declare or not declare, you have to put there, right? But the right policy will be, it's not no-give policy. It's a gift policy, right? Right? Sometimes you can give fruits and so on. It's a gift policy. But it's up to you to mention, okay? Then the other one will be Harvard University, same thing as they came out with the research integrity framework, right? You can copy that and see there is a good example there, where they try their level best to see on research integrity framework, right? But as I mentioned to you, right, whatever system, whatever framework you come, but if you have no integrity, it's no point, right? There is no such thing as integrity. It's a level of integrity, right? This morning, one of my friends, he beat traffic light. That's his level of integrity. Some police officer took 50 ringgit. That's his level of integrity. Some politician take 2 billion. That is his level of integrity, correct? It's a different level. But as a human, there is no such thing as integrity, right? We are human. Sometimes we lie to our wife also, right? So that is integrity. The other example, this is very important, Monash University whistleblower policy. You can see whistleblower policy in Malaysia, I don't think it's very effective because with my 40 years experience, I think not many, according to study also by the TI, right, in their GCB, General Corruption Barometer, I think about 15% do not trust the whistleblower because of what? Because of reprisal and so on. So this is very important. Same thing as universities. Right? If you come up with the whistleblower, whether people trust you or not. And then whom should you send? If you send to the VC, what happens if there is complaint to VC? Right. So there must be another channel there. At least 2% must receive. Example, right? But some outsource outside. Of course, that one you have to spend money, right? But so you can see, like, once people trust you, you take action, because in administration there are two things, right? One is a reward, the other one is punishment. Correct. Once your staff, lecturer are good, you have to reward. promotion, bonus, and so on, right? But if they copy, they make mistake, you have to punish. But if you do not punish, especially the one that has wahyu, some that have connection, therefore I think people will not trust your whistleblower policy. This is very important, right? So, jangan cari pasal, okay? The best thing is that you just do your work, follow policy, and make sure that try to complete your KPI and so on. There should be no problem lah. And don't misuse your power lah. Correct. Sabar sikit. The role of leadership in academic integrity. Okay. There are four factors. My thesis, right? My thesis is got something to do with law enforcement, right? But we can use this model. It is called lead theory. Right? One is a strong, sincere political will from the government. Correct. If the government is strict, if corruption is less in the country, and you fight against corruption, one thing about this PMA Act is good about him, kena press yang bagus lah. Before he met a reporter, before he opened his mouth, after he was appointed as, I have no party, actually, I'm talking. He mentioned about cost of living, correct? I'm going to try my level best to overcome this. Number 2, economy. Number 3, fighting corruption. This is the only Prime Minister yang cakap on fighting corruption. So that is good, correct? But the problem is that whether we walk the talk or not, right? If you walk the talk, therefore automatically in fraud, it is the fraud theory, correct? Opportunity, because you are Prime Minister, opportunity there. You are Minister, opportunity there. You are VC, opportunity there. Deputy Dean, because development, you got something in there. Number 2 is pressure, right? Pressure, living beyond means. Many study, overseas and local, one of the main problem because of pressure would be want to live beyond means. This is the main problem, correct? Right. Main problem because we want to live beyond means. I don't know why they want big cars, they want big house, big husband, big wife, and so on, right? So that is our problem, main problem, universally. So but to me, you know, at my age, right, almost going into 7 series, at the end of the day, even though if you have 40 million of ringgit or 100 million of dollars, right, at the end of the day, you eat one plate of rice, so correct, no? Correct. So I think the best has government 7, especially in Malaysia, because your salary is very high. When you retire, right now, today, because your salary is very high, because during our time, even the Secretary General, I think I still remember my boss there, he got only 3,000 ringgit. But now, if I'm not mistaken, right, you start with bachelor degree, right? You quarrel with the boss, right? But you quarrel, got some level lah. Until you retire, see you can get at least 8,000 ringgit lah. I think that is more than enough, right? But why must we get involved in corruption, in plagiarism and so on, whereas we have much more than enough, right? Be careful there. At the end of the day, you eat one plate of rice, you know. But some cannot even eat, you know. Makan nasi air, gone. Yeah. So number 1, number 2, number 2 is leadership of the organization, the boss itself, right? Your VC, your chancellor must show good example, must be clean, right? Sometimes you as a lecturer, sometimes you talk to your staff, right? You are dean, right? In your organization, you talk to your staff. Sometimes you got morning. The best thing is to conduct morning prayer. We conduct morning prayer. So you call all your lecturers or head of department because you are dean. You talk to him, you talk to her. At least we call morning prayer. But morning prayer should not be done more than 20 minutes lah. But the problem is because some, especially men who are queen control, they cannot speak. They cannot talk at home, so they talk during the meeting. So, and then you have to remember, right? 10 o'clock is the prime time, no, for them to go out and do their work, correct? So the best is you talk about 10 minutes, then they will be listening. But you can spot the red flag during the meeting, correct? You can see that, wow, Abu, I saw that you are wearing Rolex watch. So Datuk actually, Puan, actually this is from Petaling Street. Oh, okay. But in actual fact, it is unethical, no, to buy something like that, you control him. Then you saw another guy, hey, I got some complaint about you playing golf with one customer, right? One contractor. You better, you better get other player and play with them because people are talking. Then you saw another guy saying, always like that, feel not well. You ask him, are you on drug? No, Tuan, actually, because last night I quarreled with my wife, 4 o'clock. So, okay, you got reason, reason, right? In the process, so you ask, hey, what you do today, tomorrow what you going to do, correct? This is morning prayer, it's very important. But, in order to make sure that these people, your head of department, listen to you, you have to be better than them, correct? You have to be clean, not only clean, but seen to be clean. Correct? Because actually our staff, they know your standard. You talk only, but they know whether you're okay or not. Correct? And reform, of course. Reform is very important, but choose only the best reform. Sometimes too much reform also problem. Correct? To get the best, from a good university and see what reform which is necessary. And lastly is support from your staff. Good environmental, situation, working condition, correct. Once a year, go outside, having family day, instead of you giving present, right? Because we all as a director, every day, every time you got opportunity to deliver present, to give present, But during family day, normally we have sports game and so on. So it is not wrong to invite your driver, your office boy, with the wife, on the stage to deliver the present, correct? They take photo, they will remember until at least 10 years, right? So this is important, working environment, smile, ask your problem and so on. Sometimes as boss, sometimes you go and send one bag, 5 kilo of rice, right? To your staff, to your office boy, they'll be talking for 6 months, right? So this is very important. And of course, our leading by example, as I mentioned, formation of independent oversight body. This is also very important. But if you talk about procurement, because universities have got procurement, correct? Procurement, you have 3 committees: board, main board, finance board, and also technical board. But study shows that it is better for you to give open tenders, right, rather than direct nego. If you give direct nego, you'll be losing at least 50%. Mean they mark up until 50%. If you go by contract, maybe 15-20%. But it is not necessary that by going through contract, you will be having the best system. Not necessary. Because sometimes these 3 boards also are involved, right? So you have to pay more, right? Also. But in Denmark, they come up with another board. It is called something got to do with integrity. So all the board, they choose all the person who have very good integrity, they be in the final board. But except during the meeting, one of the specialists in your area have to be in the committee, so that when you talk about technical issue, he will answer, right? But in Malaysia, I don't think we can do that, because sometimes even though you come up, even these 3 board also got problem, you add another one, they will put all their friends. So you are getting more cost, right? Okay. Direct reporting to the board of governors, okay lah. But again lah, if there is complaint against board of governors, that's why I say that there must be two parties, right? One may be board, the other one may be VC, right? There must be there. The problem is that, are you going to solve problem or you want to have your whistleblower just for show? Huh? Which one you want, right? So, two, award and reward. A reward and punishment. Detecting and reporting mechanism. Of course, AI technology, right? AI can be double-edged sword, edge, kan? Something like that. You Google good thing, kan? You Google all thing, you want all the positive thing, it will give you. But if you Google, you want to get all bad things, therefore, you'll get it. So therefore, I think now it is good for us, right, to use ethical hacker. You know, hacker is good. You know, tipu-tipu, you know, play how to play in the dark web, to make sure to assist you how to prevent fraud in your organization. Correct. Do you know that in internet there are 3 levels? It is called internet. Internet only there are 4% information only, you know. And then we call deep web. Deep web, we have information on medical, on education. And the other one is dark web. This is a big problem. You can buy gun there, you can buy drug there. Everything is there. And also they sell information. So I think it is good also for, especially you are in academic, right, to make sure that you have a proper firewall, right, and learn something. Data analytics, of course, same, right? You must use big data in order to see and also to learn what are the pattern of the. Okay, another one is audit tool. You see, audit in Malaysia, and also maybe in some other country, South Asia. Normally audit, when do you audit? After you have spent money, correct? After the money has been misused, correct? Audit only, they conduct 4% of their survey, whatever, okay? But in US, one thing about US that we can praise this issue. They have a task force, meaning to say that if they smell some project which is more than 100 million, if they smell, the Auditor General and the task force will approach them and look at the problem. Number one, to see whether it can be rectified or not. If can, we rectify. If not, we change the contractor. The other one, we stop the thing. Correct? You lose. Same thing as LCS in Malaysia, right? We are losing the, we are making the ship for the army, for the Navy, right? The first, I know this because I was with the committee to investigate this, chaired by Tan Sri Amri Buang. We were appointed by the cabinet at the time. They started to have to pay 6 billion. 6 billion the cost. But because of some problem here and there, we have to add another 5 billion something. So the suggestion of the committee will be either we stop the program just by losing 5 billion you have spent it, rather than you add another 6 billion. Something like that, right? So this is very important. Audit, I think it is very important for us, for you, right, to go and audit first if you smell something is wrong, right? But I asked the Auditor General, he said there is a clause in the law that you can audit. But the problem in some country, you go and kacau them, you go and disturb them, they will blame you. The project do not complete in time because of the intervention of the audit. And then the politician will come out in the paper. Then you get transfer, right? I'm talking about other country, you know. You go to America, sometime in LA, you line up for 3 hours, nobody complain, correct? Nobody complain. But in Malaysia, if you have to line up for 1 hour, not Malaysia lah, Thailand, here very difficult international. One of the country lah. The politician will call the immigration. So I think this is bad for the country, you know. That's why you go to Australia, it's very difficult. Like even you bring fruit, right? They will check. You can see YouTube, somebody from China or they brought food because they are, you know why? Because they love the country, right? They love the country. Cannot. But in some country, I think you can bring whatever, like even the elephant head also, they don't care. So this is very important. Then technological tools for detection, right? We have a plagiarism detection. We have Turnitin, correct? Turnitin. There is a software, but that one can cheat. You know why? Normally when you use Turnitin, but you try to change a little bit, right? Now of course you have this AI, right? You change a few times, that will be okay. But the problem with Turnitin, because I use this, sometimes even your question given by lecturer, all are red, right? So that is the problem. I don't know whether your lecturer allow you to do away with that. So detection also is quite difficult because to me the best is human, still human, right? And the integrity. And also AI in the financial transparency, right? Transparency. This is also something you have to do with integrity, and if we wrongly use, therefore I think it will be quite difficult. Effective reporting system. University Kebangsaan also came out with this example. They come out with advanced whistleblower system, anonymous and secure reporting. Some universities say, anonymous letter tak boleh, cannot. But even MACC, so you write anonymous, but make sure that your information is A class. What do you mean by A class? There must be name, there must be offense, there must be location, what is going to happening. No, this is called A information. Not just simply write, in this department there was one guy who is tall but involved in corruption. But mention something, right? So anonymous is quite good, right? You can get more information. Sometimes you can start to investigate. But again, right? Whether the whistleblower is independent or not, right? Whether you dare or not, when there is a complaint against your VC, right? Or TNC, or the person who appoint you, correct, in the board, correct. So this is a matter of integrity. Everybody want to be in board, right? Because they pay you. Sambung, continue. And then the other example, Stanford University, ethic hotline with multiple reporting avenue. So maybe they outsource and so on, right? Quite good. Real-time case tracking for confidentiality and transparency, right? But still, as I mentioned to you, it is human integrity, correct? Whether you want to do or don't want to do. University of Melbourne, regular financial academic audit. They audit lah, spot check here and there. It's quite good. Enable detection and proactive risk identification. But my experience, like, once you are in the board of Tata Tertib, disciplinary board, right? Let's say you are in the board, then you are be appointed as chairman for disciplinary board. So normally you will not last long. People don't like you, right? So choose other committee. So this is life, right? Okay. The role of technology in transparency, artificial intelligence, I think you know better than me, right? I don't know what is going to happen in 5 years' time, right? With AI. And data analytical, I think you also, you can use this once you have the idea of collaborative effort, collaboration between institution, government, and international bodies. I find that in Malaysia, it is, if I'm not mistaken, it's not many government departments are using you, right? university, higher institution to conduct research, correct? Right? Not many, because not many give you grant. So it's very unfortunate, right? Because we are quite not so fond in conducting research for them. For them is losing a lot of money, correct? But people forget that according to Association Certified Fraud Examiner Report to Nation 2024, every organization, including university, you'll be losing 5% of the revenue because of fraud and leakage. Okay, according to World Bank, every organization will be losing 2 to 4% of GDP, on procurement. But this was confirmed by the former Auditor General, right? Amri Buang. We are losing about 30%. So most of the university, most of the institution are concentrating, sending their staff to conduct courses on what? How to make money. Correct. Number 2, how to improve production. But they forget that they rarely try to ask their audit department to conduct these kind of courses, anti-fraud. Because if you conduct this course, at least you warn and also let your staff know that what are the implications once you get arrested. Correct? Your future will be finished. Your children will be humiliated. Right? Your wife, sometimes pretty wife, will run away. Yeah, banyak jadi tau. Eric Chia, Tan Sri Eric Chia, I think we lost Pewaja about 2 billion, like that, something like that. But ACA got corruption case against him. He took 760 million. So because white collar criminal, he has a lot of money, so he hired the best lawyer. After appeal, he won the case. But one reporter came and saw him and said, Tan Sri, you must be very happy because you won the case. He said, no, you are wrong. He said, before I was arrested, I put my hand, because he's popular, he got a lot of money, Tan Sri. He said, when I put my hand, there were 200 hands putting on my hand. Once I got arrested, they said, no hand. My wife ran away, my children ran away. Correct, the impact. Itu Tan Sri. What about us, right? And then you talk about Enron also, right? They lost about billion. Our friend accused, I think he was jailed for 150 years. But in the process, besides his money has confiscated, in the process, his son commit suicide. His wife wanted to go to make some, go to salon, but salon rejected. This is a different culture, so they have this kind of thing. But I heard in Malaysia also, there was one guy who just came out from, because of a corruption case, he underwent the prison. He came back in one village, kampung, right? So he was there, even during the cultural event or marriage, people did not invite him. It affects until the children. So it is very bad. We have to be careful on this kind of thing. It can happen to everybody. So sharing the best practice is okay, but to me, make sure that whatever you write, use it, right? Rather than it is for show. Conclusion, Abia. The importance of transparency in higher education, right? You want the right thing, you want to conduct a thesis, make sure that it is yours. If it is not yours, code it, correct? It's not wrong. Take your time, right? Because you have to remember, once you commit crime, corruption or plagiarism, when you reach at my age, when you are alone there, retire, you sit there, everything will come. I give you an example. Last time we, youngster, sometimes we promise girlfriend, we get married. We don't get married, Either she ran away or I ran away, right? But that will come, no? Ting, 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 ting. What about if you are involved in this kind of thing, right? You come up with thesis, but you copy, right? Right? Same thing. Or you commit a crime. So this is very important because now everything is okay, but once you reach our age, then the script will come back. And always do not only fear MBCC, but must fear God, correct? Correct? Fear God. Key strategies, policy, technology, leadership, education, and collaboration. So these things are very important. So you have any question? You can ask whatever you like, correct? Because it is academic, you can say whatever you want. This is academic, nothing to do with. Any question? Yes,
Okay,
sir.
we have one question from Dr. Nazmul.
Yeah, doctor.
Thank you very much, Dr. Sri, for very insightful and practical experience sharing with us. My question is, as you mentioned many times about the AI and Turnitin, we do some research in academic institutions. And even though I write myself from my mind, later on I see Turnitin detected. Based on this, I would like to ask your opinion. What is the best practice for promoting transparency in academic institutions? Thank you very much.
Yeah, the best is to tell the truth and make sure that when you conduct any research, be objective, right? And just to continue here, that do you remember? You know that last time I used to come up with one article saying that talking about dark web and so on, right? That and also artificial intelligence. That I said one day there is possibility for North Korea or any Iran and so on sending this software, the what you call not software, whatever it is, just email you, it will explode, right? It happened, correct? And one day, I think in 5 years' time, there is no more. I'm not sure about education. I think you want anything, you just click your eyes, you ask Akbar, you click, then come out, Akbar. Correct? Possible? So you click here, Dr. Azida, Azida. Possible, no? 5 years' time. Correct? So the best against you, right? Be yourself, don't play guy and so on. Do your best, right? And make sure that you use AI, use it for your country to prevent fraud, to prevent plagiarism or so on. Use that good. Before the fraudster overcome you, overcome your expertise, something like that. Any more questions?
Assalamu alaikum.
Salam.
Sir, I'm Mrs. Asma Javed from Pakistan.
Yeah.
Shahid Zulfikar Ali
I'm
Bhutto.
from Peshawar, so no.
Sir, when you started, though, you talked about plagiarism, you talked about AI. Would you believe? I thought you have read my article. The thing is, what I wanted to convey, we all think alike. The problems which we face, we all are the victim to that. Copying, and then giving references, and then ultimately you reached upon that we should construct a body which could help us improving or doing the things genuinely. But sir, again, where I failed in my research, and I want your opinion too, because you did a lot of work in it. Sir, we are trying to improve the adults, the mature people who know or who craft the way to do these criminal acts in different ways. Despite we have invented the different apps to get the result and to find us. Sir, how we are to be groomed from the beginning not to do this?
Good. Okay, I answer you, okay? In Sweden, Denmark, right? They started to socialize their children since about integrity in 1802, 200 years ago. So it's a matter of time. That's why if you go there, you find that the kindergarten school, they concentrate more on integrity, not too complex curriculum. Ours is different, Asian. We like our children to be smart, but not in particular. So before I forget, I want to give you an example, right? My father asked me to go to English school. I was in the border, so you go Akbar, you go to English school. When you, then I want you to become district officer, because 20, 30 years ago, district officer is like governor, no? So they are proud. But you have to remember, my father never tell me, hey Akbar, you go to school, be a good person, respect your teacher, then you go to university, come out and be a good district officer. Meaning to say that my father is materialistic. He sent me to school not because he want me to be a good person and good district officer, but he want me to be rich and smart. Correct? So this is one reason. There is something that I think there is something wrong with us. That's why our CPI is very low. So going back to Denmark, okay, right? Okay. Now they choose the best lecturer, specialized in human, in child development, psychology, master's degree, PhD. Know how to talk to them, what to do, don't take people's things, respect, don't throw rubbish and so on. And then in the afternoon, they go to the railway station and they queue, teaching them. Get back. Okay. But can we, right, Pakistan, Malaysia, India, so on, can do this or not? Thailand? The problem is that there, the society is already okay. Meaning to say that when you teach your children, you go back, but you see that the parents have high integrity, They are okay. They are not involved in corruption because their CPI is number 1, 2, 3, 4. They are okay. But if you are in Pakistan, Malaysia, and so on, Thailand, here and that, if you do this, you import best lecturer from Oxford or Harvard, my favorite one, with a doctorate and teach in our kindergarten. Of course, they are good. They'll be good. But once they go home, what about us, right? Because I'm talking about my generation. We are corrupted, Corrupted generation. You go into the house there, you see, wow, one lorry of money there, sometimes they plant in the ground and so on. They'll be asking, hey, where do you get from this? Right. And also, in the process of crime is learned in criminology. Crime is learned. Differential association, crime is learned. Sometimes in the car, they come and you pick the children, right? They are talking, oh, don't worry, give me 100,000, I will approve the contract. This kind of thing. Crime is learned. I want to prove to you, last time I used to gossip, gossip. So my children told me, Daddy, don't gossip because I like to watch movie, gossip about this artist, right? But now, when I'm with them, they gossip 20 times worse than me. Crime, because they are learning. Correct. Whatever you say to your children, sometimes they do not follow, right? But what you do, they will follow. So what I have to do now? So I have to be careful with my grandchildren. So before gossip, so I have to be control a bit, right? Because it's already late. So meaning to say that it's quite difficult for you, for me, to overcome the integrity problem because we ourselves are a bit shaken. I have to be frank here, right? So it takes about 200 years now. That's why this morning I'm quite what you call shock also, right? Like our generation, maybe that time our father, we came from poor family. Father also sometimes semi-educated, some not educated. Sometimes when I see the generation right now, because this is the second generation, third generation, so I can assume that most of us are educated, but still you can see the children are still, below par, throwing rubbish here and there, quarrel here and there, that kind of thing. So I think this is quite difficult for us to overcome this problem. This is very difficult. Yeah.
Okay, Dr. Sri. Sorry, we have one more question, virtual. Okay, can we go live, virtual, by Dr. Kathy?
Yeah.
Hi, good morning.
Morning. I hope you understand what I say.
Excellent. I understood what you said and totally agree with what you just presented. Thank you
You are from
for
Thailand,
this topic. Yes,
Yeah,
I'm Cassie from Thailand,
from the
Rangsit
slang, I know, yeah.
University, Bangkok. Yes. Nowadays, we are dealing with the AI, the artificial intelligence, and also with the creation of the ChatGPT. It's both students and lecturers are also dealing with or using the ChatGPT. Now, we cannot stop them. And my question is about this, we can't stop them, but how could we deal with this one? How could we encourage to use it or to have the integrity, academic integrity on using the ChatGPT, or what kind of thoughts that we should have in place to deal with this AI?
Okay.
Yeah, I'd like to ask your opinion about this.
Good
Thank you.
question. You see, I forget to answer. What is your question again? I forget.
The ChatGPT,
Yeah,
the
sensitivity.
academic integrity. Yeah.
Okay. Now I remember. So the best thing is okay. Even in Thailand and also Malaysia, do you know what is the cause of integrity crisis? What is the cause of corruption taking place? Because there is no empirical study, correct? There is no scientific study by especially our countries. Whether it is because of parenting, upbringing, school system, or socioeconomy. You don't know, right? But how are you going to overcome this problem when we do not know the root cause of the problem? Correct. So to me, I think, frankly speaking, it is a parenting, But I find that because I used to go to Thailand because I'm in the border, so I can see that even compared to us, your society are getting much more better. I give you an example. Even if you go to Hat Yai and also Bangkok, you can see that the city are very clean, correct? And number two, you can see that people are changing, especially in school. I heard that there is some teaching in integrity and so on. So I think the more important is parenting. Once you tell your children what you can do, what you can do. That's why during our time, my time last time, I don't know whether your culture is same or not, because our parents was not that educated. Sometimes when we commit any unethical things or something, right? Our father will just slap us, That is our culture. Then we will run away to the mosque because there was a field there. And then after 7 o'clock, we have to come back because we have to pray, right, being Muslim. But in our culture, we cannot ask our father, why? No, nothing. Then we have to learn ourselves. When did I learn? I go to primary school, still I don't learn. Until I go to first year, I take psychology 101. Then earlier I realized, this is a problem. But right now, I think Gen Y, you have to educate your children. What is right, what is wrong, what is do, what is don't. Educate them, including AI. Must tell, give reason, right? Give reason. Why, I used to give example, why you go overseas, even when somebody lost a pen or left a pen somewhere, right, in a hotel, you find that nobody will take it, right? But sometimes you take and they put in the counter. But why in our country, in this region, normally you found something like this, you take it back, right? This is the issue of integrity. But one of my friends told me that maybe this is because of economic problem. Meaning to say that if in my house I have 100 pens, I don't need anymore. So therefore, in order to curb reduce corruption, not only you have to do with parenting, but also the economy of the country must be good. Meaning to say, you have to take care of your public. You must take care of your citizen, giving whatever they have. Use the resources that you have for the public. Because in a country, in my country, in any country, we are losing about 47 billion per year, no? Based on 2 to 5% of the GDP because of corruption. But this 5 billion, since 60 years, our independent already, if that you can give to every citizen, everybody will become millionaire, right? So again, leadership is very important, but to me, the answer will be parenting. Right now, you are educated, we are educated, we have to tell our children with reason why you have to do this, why you cannot do this. And you have to remember, crime is learned. Once you educated them, they go to school, but wrongly, if they encounter what you call a wrongly friend, right, or a bad school, that also will get influenced. So you have to control them. You see who are their friends, what are in their computer and phone and so on, right? You have to give. But again,
Professor.
Yeah.
Thank you for the long answer. That's very nice of you.
Yeah.
But the question that I addressed here is about the academic integration to the point of we as the academic institutions, right, with the creation of the SHATI, and in your opinion that I addressed that, it's the I don't think it is wrong to use the AI in the universities or in the schools, but how could we teach the students to do it smartly and control the AI, you know, not just the AI to get anything to us and then we take it right away. You know, that's how like for us as the we are working at the academic university, academic institutions, the mindset, if we have the mindset that the ChatGPT is bad or, well, but we cannot stop it. Yeah, I don't think it is bad. Yeah, let's say I to be clear on my side first.
Yeah,
but then how to encourage the positive of using the ChatGPT.
Same again, right? As I mentioned earlier.
Thank you for your answers.
Yeah, I think the best is that, of course, there will be some courses on this, right? If I would say we don't know something got to do with AI, I think that we can learn, right? And by in fact, I still believe that if you tell your children not to make sure that you use AI in a positive manner, I think that should not be a problem. And also, as I mentioned to you, that's why, again, right, sometimes you cannot control your children, right, that to get involved in this AI, but again, we also have to check. I think I still believe on that. Thank you.
Okay, Datuk Sri. Probably, Dr. Sri, you're very popular. Just only one last question.
Yeah.
Coming from the floor, and you are the lucky one.
All right. Assalamualaikum. So my question, I'm Ashraf, by the way. So my question is, Dr. Sri, in your opinion, how effective the whistleblower policy in Malaysia, and how can we improve the system to be more robust?
I think it's not that effective. So even the whistleblower policy, right, on the what do you call the law enforcement, right? I think not many are complaining and also giving information because they are scared. That's why, as I say, the General Corruption Perimeter 2020, 50% are saying that they are skeptical because reprisal. Number two, sometimes they complain so nothing is done. 12% saying that, and that are the reason. So in order to improve, I think this all depend on us, right? On the integrity of the of the leadership, right? Whether what you really want, right? You want to improve You want to get the right information or vice versa, right? This is very important. If not, I think it's quite difficult. So the main problem here is that whether when there is a complaint against your boss, right, do you dare to take action or not? Your future will be at stake, right? But being in this area, you have to take action. You have no choice, right? You have no choice. We have to take action. If not, people will not respect. And of course, you can see, right, once you take disciplinary action, this is the one example that one institution I get involved also. We took action, and you can see that the number of complaint increase. Because they'll be talking among themselves, like whether you do or not, whether you are biased or not, right? You have to do and declare, right? These are the so as for law enforcement agency, I think still they have to conduct some campaign and prove that all the complaint, law enforcement, you're talking about the whistleblower policy, right? That you take action. Therefore, I think you will get more information from the public. As for the company, as I mentioned to you, you know, right? Some CEO, some MD, they not take action, buyer and so on. That will be a bit difficult for you to complain. Sometimes you complain, you got into trouble, right? Or sometimes the CEO going home and instead of getting the information, discuss with the wife, right? And then the wife is a good friend of the suspect. Self story. So I think that is our situation. Still, we have to come up with some. It's all up to us, right? Up to us, because the system is there, but the people who handle the thing, we have system. That's why, as I mentioned earlier, sometimes the system can be invented or proposed by UITM, but make sure that the handlers are good. These are all problem of handler, whether you want to take action or not. Thank you. Right?
Thank you very much, Datuk Sri Dr. Akbar Sata. And I think that will be the end of our Q&A session.
Thank you.
Let's give a big applause to Datuk Sri Dr. Akbar Sata for the very insightful sharing just now. Ladies and gentlemen, we will continue, and it's my pleasure to introduce our next distinguished speaker. We are honored to have with us all the way from Thailand via online, Associate Professor Dr. Kanitson Thetpaupong, the Director of the Master of Accounting Program at Rangsit University, Thailand. Dr. Kanitson is a respected academic and leader in the field of accounting, governance, and sustainability. Today, she will be sharing her insights on a very timely and important topic, ESG, the new paradigm of corporate valuations. Welcoming Dr. Kanitson live on the screen. Over to you, Dr. Kanitson.
Thank you. Thank you very much for the invitation and also the very interesting session this morning that I also participated. It's very honored to speak or to share something with you guys. I'm Kanitson Thetpaupong from Rangsit University, which is one of the private universities located in Bangkok, Thailand. Okay, the topic is about the ESG, the environmental, social, and governance. That I think that is not the topic that far from all of us, especially for someone who works in the corporates or someone who also work as the professors at the university or the students at the universities, because the topic of the ESG, in short, right, the environmental, social, and governance, is a very hot topic. And it is one of the subtopics of the Sustainability Development Goals, the SDGs, that all the countries commit to the sustainability development goals. Now, the one that I propose here, okay, it's something that I like to share to you and maybe get the exchange. You also may like to share to me some at the end if you may. it's about the new paradigm of the corporate evaluation. What I'm saying here is that previously, as a professor at the Faculty of Accountancy, generally when we look at the corporations, other companies, how we determine the performance of the corporations or the companies is usually the financial metrics. Okay, we will look at the return on assets, the return on the equities, or some kind of those financial ratios, right? Then we look at the liquidities, we look at the profitabilities, or the efficiency ratios. But now this topic, I like to propose to you that it's a new way for evaluate the corporations, not just only the financial ratios or the financial performance that we will look at, but there will be another dimensions that nowadays it's the dimension that no one can ignore. And this one, it's a very important because it's kind of the critical dimensions of the company abilities. Okay, now it has been mentioned a lot in the literature, in the research literature, that the companies should integrate the ESG into the business strategies. Okay? Not just like as the wording, that try to advertise the companies or get the companies to be to have the good reputation. But actually, nowadays, we look at the ESG as the factor that the business should take it as the business strategies to help the companies to manage the potential risks that might come, and also having the ESG strategy in the business also attracted. Besides that, the regulation requirements from the policy holders. Okay, this one also satisfy the stakeholders, because the stakeholders nowadays is not shows or the financial outcomes from the companies. They like to look at the company in a long run. Okay, having this then and also resilient business model with having the ESG as the business model is a must nowadays. Okay, and then when we are talking about the ESG or the SDG, looking at the developed countries. In this case, most of the times we will look at the EU, the companies in Europe. When we look at ESG, we will look at how people or the companies in the developed countries, like in Japan, in Sweden, in Netherlands, how they deal with the ESG in the business strategies, because they actually practice before the countries in Asia, like let's say like in Thailand as well. Okay, then when we look in this presentation, I will also bring you the information from the Europe, the regulatory that has been practiced in Europe. Number one, let's say from this slide, it's about the non-financial reporting directive, or the NFRD. Okay, this one actually it's the policies that applies to the large public interest entities, okay, or the large public entities. With, when we say large, it means they have the employees exceed 500 people. Okay, for these companies, then they are do the NFRD, non-financial reporting directive. Okay, this one include the listed companies in the stock exchange, and also the financial institutions like banks and insurance companies, and also other companies to authorities to comply with the NFRD. Okay, and this one, the company, what the company should do, the company will disclose on the environmental matters, on the social matters, on the also the human rights or the anti-corruption and bribery issues or the border diversities. Okay, these are kind of the requirements from NFRD. Now we look at the practices from Europe that they has been doing for many, many years. Then this one back then we will come countries in our region. Okay, then we also in the Europe they also have got the Corporate Sustainability Reporting Directive or CSRD. Okay. We heard a lot about the CSR. The companies do the CSR activities. This one also in Europe they cover all large companies or large corporations that listed in the stock exchange. This one is different from the previous one because the previous one is to any companies that have the employees over 500. Okay, then some of the companies maybe they have the employees more than 500, but they are not listed in the stock exchange. Okay, but this one for the large corporations that listed in the stock exchange, then the companies must report the sustainability matters that including the ESG. Then in this CSR directive, the company has to report on the ESG aspects and in the standardized manner. Then they set the standardized matters. The companies just follow this one. Having this will improve the consistency and comparability of the sustainability information EU. Okay, this one for Thailand, for example, then we don't have we have this one, but it's on the voluntary basis. Okay, then the companies may or may not to report this one. We don't have the punishment or the fines to do if the companies don't do that. Okay. Now we see the next one. They also have the EU taxonomy regulation. Okay, this one applies to the financial market participants like the banks and the insurance companies. You know, like we are working at the university. Then there are many accounting standards like IFRS that we have to. But this one is something that on top of that. Okay. Then in the EU, the large organization, the large corporations required to provide the non-financial. This one to classify the system for the environmentally sustainable economic activities. Then the companies must and what kind of activities that they have done align with the criterion set by the taxonomy. Okay, like when we are talking about taxonomy, we have the different level of the taxonomy, right? That concept also used in the EU taxonomy regulation in terms of the ESG as well. Okay, this one I think it's when it's practiced, it would be very clear to all the companies and also the stakeholders. In the EU, they also have the Sustainable Finance Disclosure Regulation, or SFDR. This one as the comply to the financial market participants and the financial advisors. This one requires the mandatory ESG disclosures. This one financial market participants. If they have the obligations on financial markets, then they have to disclose the information. Okay. This one just to increase the transparency in the market for the sustainable investment products and also to prevent the clean washing. Okay. For being the financial institutions, they also take many roles, right? And this one is one of them that the financial institutions or the companies that relates their investment to financial instruments have to comply with. Okay. They also have the European Green Deal. Okay, this one, the policies, that initiative encompassing the various regulatory measures to aim to make the EU's economy sustainable. This one for the EU, right, the Green Deal. This one include the actions across the several sectors, like about the climate, about the energy, about the agriculture, or the manufacturing industry, or also the transports, to achieve the climate change issues, right? That's they have the European Green Deal in 2050. Then many countries in the world also signed up for this one, like in Thailand as well. And then we have to be the net zero by 2050. Then there are processes before getting to the net zero to deal with many issues about the climate change. Then we are the long walk. You know, we're starting, but we are the long walk to get to the findings in, or the outcomes in 2050. Okay, this one, this is one of them. EU also have got the climate law. This one, legally binds the EU to climate neutrality by 2050. Then it's not just like you can do or not to do, but there's a very strong commitment in the EU, right? This one to set the bindings of the EU climate targets to the net zero, at least like along this way from now. Actually, they started many years already. From that point to 2050, there are also sub-targets along the way as well, like the reduce of the net zero to like 55% of the greenhouse gas emission by 2030. Yeah, this year is 2024, right? Then they, this one, if we reach 2030, then we will have another 20 years, you know, to walk to the net zero. Okay, and this one, I think that many countries, the government in many countries also are concerned about this, the climate change. Then now when that's the EU side, in the European countries. Now in the developing countries, when I say about the developing countries, many countries, right? Thailand is also one of the developing countries, Malaysia, Indonesia, Vietnam. But maybe we are at the different stages of the developing countries, because from the classification, the distinctions from the UN, and then they have the middle high, low income, or the high income countries, you know, for the developing countries. Okay, this one, then the practice on ESG is different. Okay, the regulatory regarding the ESG factors then varies significantly among our countries. Okay, however, there's also many initiatives that they try, and also the stock exchange commissions in each country also try to comply with the ESG practices, or to the regulations regarding the ESG. Now, this is the trend for the developing countries. This topic has been one of the very hot topics in research. The topic about the climate change, the topic about the ESG, the topic about the SDGs, you know, these are very vital issue. I'd like to propose to you the trend of the developing countries, which is maybe at a different stage. We are following up the developed countries, let's say number one in the international influence. Because in our countries, like Thailand, as a sample, also developing countries, that usually we adopt or adapt international standards and also the frameworks, like we have the GRI, the Global Reporting Initiative, right, the GRI. We just follow that. But in Thailand, there's no compulsory. We still voluntary basis that whether you follow the GRI or not to follow the GRI or the TC, it is okay. Yeah. But we are encouraged. Then in this sense, when the Stock Exchange of Thailand or the Security Exchange Commission encourage, they give, for example, they give the awards to the companies. They set the ranking for the ESG. And there's also, we have got many mutual funds that focus on the ESG, the investment on the ESG companies. Means that they invest in the companies that have the high score of the ESG or have the ESG activities. Okay, this one to support, but mostly we adopt it, okay, from the international standards. Secondly, there's sector-specific regulations. Because we don't do it all across the industries, but we will focus, okay, may initially focus on the key sectors like agriculture, energy, industry, which to agriculture and the energy and some heavy manufacturing industry have been the sectors that involve a lot of the or significant environmental damage. Then maybe there's some impact on the manufacturing process. Okay. Then for us, we tend to focus on to some particular sectors. Okay. Not the same as in EU. Number 3, we are on the voluntary guidelines. Okay, many countries have issued voluntary guidelines and also the principles to encourage the business to adopt the ESG practices. Okay, this one have been said a lot already. Number 4, there's a stock exchange initiative. Okay, several of the stock exchanges in our countries also require the listed companies to disclose the ESG information that's driven by the initiative like the Sustainable Stock Exchange SSE initiative. Then we have the sustainability report. In Thailand, we have that report that the companies, like the very large companies, will disclose the information. That could be the one report together with the annual report that they presents the financial information, or could be the different reports. Yeah. Also the capacity building, that is the number 5. This one, the efforts are also often focus on building the capacities and also raising the awareness of the business and the regulators about the importance of the ESG factors, because we are very strong tied between the business factors and also authorities. Then we tend to be able to build the to make the capacity building. Okay, this one is one of the things in the ESG in our developing countries. Now I see this one as a paradigm shift. Okay, either we are following up other developed countries, we are working in the same path, or just only that some of the countries just walk before us. Okay, now the new paradigm of the seeing the business value, okay, or the corporation's values is shifted to different way. Okay, as I mentioned, that it's beyond the traditional financial metrics. Now we include all the non-financial factors, like previously, or even now, not previously, we focus primarily on the financial metrics like the revenues, the profits. But now with the ESG driven, there are some other factors like that we actually focus on. Okay. If we collect the information as a researcher perspective, then we get to see not just only the financial ratios, we see the ESG ratios. And that will be the ESG disclosure score that we can collect from the online database, and together with other climate change, resource, or labor practices, or the GDP or economic factors. And now it's changed, not just only financial matters. Now the value also enhanced by the ESG-driven valuation, because the value usually the stakeholders will look at just only the revenues, just only the net income or the profit, but now we will look at how the company run their businesses. Do they use the energy efficiency effectively? How do they deal with the waste reduction? Okay, or the concern about the employees or the satisfaction. Well, customer satisfaction, of course, we concern, but now on top of that is the employee satisfaction seriously, and not just to do the survey just to see how the staff is very satisfied with the business operations. But this one, if the companies has got a strong ESG, the way that they govern the companies or the corporations will be different, and the value is enhanced by that. Okay, regulatory and also the market pressure nowadays. Even you do the fishery industry, for example, you catch the tuna in the ocean. It has to be the sustainable fishing system. See, everything relates to the sustainabilities, and it has to be, we have to care for the environment. And then the pressure from the market, is from outside, is more than the past. Okay. Also, the investor expectations changed. Okay. Previously or historically, the investor may expect or focus on the financial returns and also short-term gains. Okay, but when we concern about the ESG, the companies with the ESG driven, the investors, which is one of the stakeholders, the key stakeholders, needs to see other things beyond the numbers. Okay, how the investor also expect to see how ethically the company behave for the business operations as well. Then the investor expectations also has changed. Also, ESG assume to improve the financial performance. We think that, right? And we try to do many research, several research also done, the linkage between the ESG and the firm performance. Now there's some distinctions between the developed countries and developing countries. I am also the one who also do the research on this topic, and I see that the data, when we talk about the ESG metrics, from Europe and from Japan, for example, okay, different behavior. When you look at the data, it's different behavior from the data from developing countries. We tend to look at the short-term performance. Okay, then we look at the financial performance at short term, while other countries that has concerned about the ESG for many years before us, then the focus is not the short term, it's the long term. Okay, then the findings from the research, sometimes from the different regions, have got different findings. Okay, that still be the issues and a very controversial matters for us to do research. Okay. But we believe that ESG will help to improve the financial performance of the corporations. Also, the stakeholders' engagement is more on the ESG data driven, okay, because the stakeholders will engage a lot, which nowadays is the years or era of the AI, the era of the big data, the era of the data, massive data, that any person can get the information if they know how. The matter access to data is not the issues anymore nowadays. Then the stakeholder engagement is a lot nowadays. Long-term value creation, we tend to be like that, invest in environmental, in the social and governance needs investment. Okay? We need a big investment. Let's say to invest in the processing in the factory. Okay, the processing process in the industry, in the factories. If we use the AI, if we use the robot, it's a big investment. Then we may decline the labor, right? Because we use the robots instead. Then the labor cost may be lower or cheaper, but the big investment go to the equipment. Okay, then long term, this one is kind of how the management see have the vision to see the long term views of the investment. Then to this, okay, I will propose the practical implementation, like how we know that it's the paradigm shift. It is a shift for real. That if the companies don't care for the ESG, then there will be some consequences, right? Financially and non-financially, of course. Then what is the practical implementations that we could take from now? We could integrate the ESG into the financial models. Okay, this one, maybe there's some metrics, financial metrics that we can link. Like nowadays, we have the financial ratio that's called ESG link to board's salaries, okay, the income of the management. Then we link the companies, link the ESG success. Okay, if the score of the ESG is higher, then the management receive more bonuses like that. Now we try to link this one to the how we pay the management. Okay. We have got the ESG rating and ESG scores, of course. Okay, if you are researchers, you will definitely know about the ESG ratings or ESG score. Okay, then let's say back to this a little bit. Say, for example, from Bloomberg database. Okay, they will have the score on ESG, ESG, and D is disclosure. Okay, the disclosure on the environmental, social, and governance. Okay, this one, the Bloomberg has the team, and then they assess these companies' informations, and then they give the score to any companies that listed in the stock exchange as far as the data available. Now we get to see the ESG scores. Then the total score is 100. Let's say this company get 20, okay, in this year, and how about the following years? But from the trend, when I look at the data over 10 years, at the beginning, when the companies try to practice the ESG, the score is very low. But nowadays, like in Thailand, the score on average is about ESG data is about 50 something, 50 plus. It's a halfway to 100, not 100 yet. Or some companies, of course, they disclose a lot of the ESG information, then they get a very high score. And then we believe that the way that they disclose is the way that they also do their activities related to the ESG. Okay. Otherwise, the annual reports or the reports will not be audited, and confirmed by the auditors. Okay. Then there's the regulatory and reporting standards. We have the GRI, the Global Reporting Initiative. In this GRI, there's many criteria to follow. Okay, and this one is just if we don't care for it, we will be left behind. Also, the task force on the climate-related financial disclosures, then you have to disclose how you deal with the way you use the energy. Okay. And what about your business? That when you run the business, did you pollute the air? Did you pollute the water? Okay, like that. This one also, the disclosures will enhance the transparency and comparability. Okay, on this. This is the conclusion from my side. That in a nutshell, I would propose that we integrate the ESG factors into the operational strategies of the company. This one is not just a trend. It should be the fact that the company should give heed on this one. Okay, and also the ESG will enhance the financial performance. If not the short term, but it will be in the long term. Okay, in the long run. The manager, this one to help the management of the organization to manage the potential risks, and also to meet the regulatory requirements from the policy holders. This one to attract more investment from other investors, from either in the country or off the country. Also, as the global business environment continues to evolve, integrating ESG principle is essential for the long-term success of the organizations and also for the long-term competitiveness. Okay, if we are going to compete with the competitors or with the other companies, just only the financial matters alone is not enough. Let's say it's not enough anymore. And then we have to keep the reputation, not just because we want to keep the reputation, but because we want to do good for the world, for the organization, for the staff, for the employees, for the customers, for any stakeholders. Okay. And that will be the conclusion from my presentation, that the consequence of failing not to do this, this is not to scare, right? But it could potentially make that companies significant or they have to face many significant and multifaceted consequences, right? The companies that ignore the ESG or don't give heed to the ESG, then more likely to risk their own financial loss and reputational damage in the long run. Okay, and also in the future there will be regulatory penalties as well. Operational disruptions could be one of the things that could happen if we don't really follow the ethics. ESG is like, to me, I think is one of the ethics or ethical behavior that the organizations should give heed on this. As in the morning, the first speaker said about the corporate governance, this is one part of it, right? And this is also a link to the human governance as well. Doing this together, both the organizations, the staff, also investors, the customers, then the world will be better, having the ESG. This. Okay, that would be the end of my presentation, and I also like to receive the comments, or perhaps you could share your experience on the ESG in your organization or about your research. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Kanisun. Another round of a big applause, please.
Thank you.
Okay, let us now open for any question and answer session. Oh, we got one. Can I have the mic be passed to one of the participants?
I have to apologize that I like to try to stop sharing. Okay, I can now. Is it? Am I stop sharing?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay.
Hi, Kathy. This is Dr. Shumaila Zaib from Zabas Islamabad campus. First of all, I would like to thank you for such an informative session on ESG practices. I just have one small question which I would like you to enlighten me and all of us sitting here. That what are the challenges which are faced by the firms in the underdeveloped countries which refrain them to incorporate ESG dimensions? Thank you.
Thank you. Well, that's a very nice question, and very thoughtful. One of the challenges for the firms to practice on the ESG, there are a few factors actually. Number one is about the finance, the investment. To invest onto the ESG, we need the investment from the companies. And for example, if we are going to change the lighting system to concern, then now we are going to use the sunroof to set up the sunroof solar cell. Yeah, that's a big investment now. Okay, then many companies started to do this already, but some companies still not yet. And this is one of the challenges. The investment, the finance, right, for the investment. Number two is the mindset of the management. Okay, this one, the mindset of the management. If they think that ESG is just the trend that people like to do, or people concern and then try to please people, right? Try to please citizens by saying that they do the CSR, they have the ESG practices, but it's not, if it is not from the bottom of their heart, and not from their own vision and mission, their objective, then everything is in vain. Yeah, that is the challenge, one or two of the challenges so far, from my opinion.
Okay, Dr. Kanisu. There will be another one question from members. Yeah. Okay.
Good afternoon, Doctor. My name is Peter Chinedu. I'm from Nigeria, but currently a PhD student at UITM. Doctor, in your lecture, you mentioned several regulatory frameworks and several regulatory frameworks and guidelines, both voluntary and mandatory, that companies will need to comply with. Some companies may want to comply with these regulations, but we know primarily companies want to make returns for their shareholders. They are faced on one hand with making returns for their shareholders. On the other hand, there is sustainability, and there are several guidelines. So from your experience, what would you advise? How can harmonization be achieved in all these regulatory frameworks and guidelines to ensure clarity, such that companies that want to comply, they can have a better understanding or clarity on what they need to do, because there are different frameworks. So how can we achieve harmonization to ensure clarity and improve compliance? Thank you.
Thank you for the very great question. I like what you touched on, the shareholders, because the shareholders also, typically they care for the returns. If we were the shareholders of one of the companies, then we like to know the dividends. We like to know about the profit margin. We like to know the earnings per share and those kind of things. While the companies itself have to balance between the pressure of the regulatories, a lot of regulatories to comply with, and also the typical expectation from the shareholders. How to balance between the two, because the companies have to fulfill both to fulfill to the shareholders, fulfill to the authorities, to the society. Actually, in returns, that one and that side, later on, but I don't know how long. Later on, it will come back to the shareholders. How could we balance in terms of being the management of the organization? That is very challenging. Okay. Now there are many regulatory requirements, but then we have to start from the management. Okay, the top management. This one is not the bottom up; it's the top down approach. Okay, that the managements have to have these thoughts, and they have to believe that ESG is one of the strategies to enhance the performance of the corporations, both in short term and long term. If not short term, it would be in the long term. Okay, with that attitude of or understanding of the management, then the policies could come. And then, even though there are many practices, but all those practices are aimed to enhance the performance of the corporations, and also to be clear, to be transparent for many stakeholders. That we actually should do anyway. Yeah. I don't know how to say that to really respond to your question precisely, because it's the lots of factors that the management need to do, but at first, I think the management has to have the right attitudes towards this. Yeah, if they have the right attitudes towards this ESG and also the practices that they have to comply with, then there wouldn't be any problems. I hope that responds to your question.
Okay, thank you. We would like to apologize due to the time constraint. We have to cut short with the question and answer session. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, first of all, thank you to all speakers. We truly appreciate you sharing your knowledge and expertise with us today. Thank you, Dr. Kanitson, for the... All right, ladies and gentlemen, we'll now proceed to the next presentation of mementos to our distinguished guests. We will now invite Yang Berusaha, Professor Dr. Haslinda Yusof, the Dean of the Faculty of Accountancy, UiTM, accompanied by the Deputy Dean of Research and Industrial Linkages, Faculty of Accountancy, UiTM, Yang Berusaha Associate Professor Dr. Razana Johaida Johari, to be on stage to present the token of appreciation to our speakers. We should now invite the first speakers, Yang Bahagia Tan Sri Datuk Wira Dr. Muhammad Syukur bin Haji Mahfar, on the stage. Our next speaker, Yang Berbahagia Datuk Seri Dr. Ahbar Sata. And last but not least, our Associate Professor Dr. Kanitsuan Terpaupong. Please welcome Associate Professor Dr. Haida Azrin binti Ismail, our Deputy Dean of Student Affairs, to be on stage to receive on behalf of Dr. Kanitsuan.
Thank you, everyone. Ladies and gentlemen, a picture is worth 1,000 words, but memory is priceless. Hence, I would like to request everyone in this hall to get ready, and to all virtual participants to turn on your camera for a photo session. So for this, we are going to follow the instructions of our photographer here. The participants at the back, can you please stand up and move forward so that we can fit in the photo. Oh, everyone, okay, all right. So everyone, please stand up and move forward to our VIP here. For virtual participants, can you please hold on? Because we are going to taking pictures separately. Nice. Okay, smile everyone. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, with that, on behalf of the organizing committee, we hope that this morning's session was fruitful. You may enjoy the rest of the conference today. We would like to invite our guest VIPs, accompanied by our Dean of the Faculty and our Deputy Dean, for lunch at Royal Songket Hall.